Okay, so the iPhone 17 is here, and with it, that big, shiny Pro label. But what does Pro really mean this time around? Apple's thrown down the gauntlet with some pretty bold claims, so today, we're gonna tear this thing down, figuratively speaking, and figure out what actually makes this a Pro device. We're talking everything from the metal it's carved from to the silicon heart beating inside. Let's dive in. And that really is the big question here, isn't it? What really makes a phone Pro? Is it just, slapping in a slightly better camera and a faster chip? Or is there something deeper going on this year? Well, it seems like Apple's answer starts with the very thing you're holding in your hand. Yeah, they're starting with the foundation, the actual physical groundwork of the phone. We're talking about redefining the exterior from the ground up. The design, the materials, how this thing is literally put together. And as you're about to see, that one decision, well, it changes everything. And here it is, the first huge leap. This is the first ever aluminum unibody iPhone. Think about that for a second. Instead of having a separate frame and a back piece, this entire enclosure is machined from one single solid block of aluminum. It's a true unibody design, and that's not just a marketing term. It means a completely different, way more complex way of making a phone. So how do they do it? It's actually a pretty incredible process. This one block of aluminum goes on a whole journey. First, it's extruded, then it's heated, then forged into its rough shape. After that comes the really precise part. It's machined in, and I'm quoting here, finer and finer passes. And the final step? It's anodized. That's this cool electrochemical process that creates a super tough, corrosion-resistant surface and literally bakes the color into the metal itself. This is some serious industrial-grade manufacturing, just, for your phone. Okay, so why bother with all that? What's the point? Well, there are some huge benefits. That unibody design creates an enclosure that's light, it's incredibly rigid, but the real secret weapon here is that it's way more thermally efficient. And that ability to handle heat is maybe the most critical piece of this whole Pro puzzle. It's what unlocks everything else. And it's not just about the internal strength. They've beefed up the outside too. That unibody is paired with some serious armor. Remember ceramic shield on the front? Well, now it's on the back too. And the front display itself has been re-engineered. It's now 3 times more scratch resistant. So it's tough inside and out. All right, so we've covered the new foundation, this incredible unibody. Now, let's talk about the engine that they built this whole thing to house. Because that aluminum body, it's not just for show. It's the key to wrangling the absolute beast of a system they've packed inside. So what are we looking at under the hood? Well, you've got the most powerful chip ever put in an iPhone, the biggest battery ever put in an iPhone, which, surprise, surprise, gives you the longest battery life ever. I know, it sounds kind of like the standard yearly update, right? But there's a catch. And that catch is physics. It's the fundamental problem with all high-performance electronics. See, immense power generates immense heat. It's just a fact. And if you can't get that heat away from the chip and the battery fast enough, the system has to slow itself down to protect itself. So, with their most powerful chip ever, how did Apple solve this massive problem? They came up with a really elegant solution, a brand new cooling system built around something called a vapor chamber. This is seriously cool tech. It's this thin chamber that's laser welded right onto the chassis. Inside, it cycles ionized water between liquid and gas states over and over. That phase change pulls a ton of heat away from the chip really fast and then spreads it out across, you guessed it, that entire aluminum unibody we were just talking about. And this is where it all clicks into place. That unibody isn't just a strong case. It's acting like one giant passive heat sink for that vapor chamber. The whole system works together. And the result? The phone can run at its absolute peak power for way, way longer without overheating and slowing down. If you're a gamer, a video editor, or you just push your phone hard, this is a massive deal. It's the difference between sustained performance and, well, not. Okay, so we've got the body, we've got the engine, and its cooling system. Now it's time to talk about what, for a lot of people, is the #1 reason they go Pro in the first place: the camera. And Apple is not messing around with their language on this one. Their exact words were, "the most cinematic camera we've ever made." Wow, that is a huge claim. So let's see what kind of hardware they're bringing to back that up. The hardware upgrades are Yeah, they're pretty major. For starters, all 3 lenses on the back are now 48 megapixels. The telephoto sensor is 56% larger. That's a huge jump that's going to make a massive difference in low light. It also gives you an 8x optical quality zoom, and for the video pros out there, it now records in ProRes RAW. We're talking about a professional format that captures an insane amount of data, giving you incredible control when you're editing. But just like with the processor, the Pro story here isn't just about bigger numbers and specs. It's about giving people truly professional level control and workflows. And there's one new feature that honestly is just on another level. Get ready for this. This is the first phone ever to have Genlock. Now, if you're not in the professional day world, that word might not mean much, but trust me, this is a genuine game changer. Genlock is a feature that perfectly synchronizes the timing of multiple cameras, right down to the individual frame. So imagine you're shooting a scene with 3 of these iPhones. Because of Genlock, when you go to edit that footage together, it all lines up perfectly, seamlessly. This is a feature that until now you'd only find on Hollywood-grade cinema cameras that cost, well, a lot more than a phone. And hey, while all the attention is on the back, the front camera got a nice little upgrade too. It's an 18 megapixel sensor now. And for all of us doing video calls, Center Stage got an update. It can now track and frame a whole group of people, not just one person. Pretty neat. All right, so let's step back and put all these pieces together. We've got this new Unibody design, a ridiculously powerful engine with a custom cooling system, and a camera that's blurring the lines with professional gear. What does it all mean when you combine it? This right here, this is basically the whole story. The Pro upgrade this year isn't just one thing, it's a system. The aluminum unibody is what makes the vapor chamber cooling possible. That advanced cooling is what lets the chip run at peak performance without throttling. And that sustained power is what unlocks insane camera features like Genlock and ProRes RAW. See, each piece enables the next. It's all connected. So when you look at the whole package, the picture becomes really clear. This isn't just the phone with the better camera anymore. It's a totally cohesive system designed from the ground up for a specific kind of person. Creators, filmmakers, developers, anyone who is constantly pushing the limits of what a piece of technology can do. And all of this leads to a much bigger, kind of provocative final question. With Hollywood-level features like Genlock and ProRes RAW literally sitting in our pockets, are we watching the beginning of the end for dedicated professional cameras, at least in some fields? It's a pretty wild dot to end on. Thanks for digging into this with me.